On formal occasions, female members of the British royal family always appear with stunning looks. Whether it's the Queen's tiara, or Kate and Meghan's engagement rings and brooches, the dazzling jewelry always captures attention. In October 2018, when Kate attended a dinner at Buckingham Palace, she was fully adorned, wearing a three-piece set of a tiara, necklace, and brooch. The large pearls and diamonds, along with the red gemstones on the brooch, were simply mesmerizing. Upon closer inspection of Kate's jewelry, people discovered that this luxurious and elegant set had been in existence for over a century. In particular, the necklace, encrusted with pearls and diamonds, has an even more intriguing story behind it. The story's protagonist is Alexandra, Queen of the United Kingdom, and the wife of King Edward VII. She was a legendary figure who influenced generations of European fashion and showcased British royal style to the world. How legendary was Queen Alexandra? Not only did she marry a king, but her father was also the King of Denmark. Her son, George V, later became the King of the United Kingdom and was the grandfather of Queen Elizabeth II. She rose to fame during the Victorian era and became an icon of European women's fashion during her husband Edward's reign. The choker necklace, which has been trending in recent years, was popularized by Queen Alexandra over a century ago. Queen Alexandra was born in December 1844 in the Yellow Palace in Copenhagen. At that time, her father had not yet become the heir to the throne. He was just a small prince among the Danish nobility, with little wealth and not much distinction. It wasn't until she was 4 years old that the King of Denmark, Christian VIII, passed away. The throne, which should have been inherited by his son Frederick, was thrown into crisis due to the prince's hasty marriages and lack of heirs. After much deliberation and consideration, the once obscure family of Alexandra was pushed to the forefront of history. In 1863, Alexandra's father became the King of Denmark. Interestingly, 2 years before her father ascended the throne, Queen Victoria of the British royal family searched for a suitable bride for her son, Edward. After considering many princesses from European royal families, Queen Victoria was drawn to the modest and humble Danish princess. In 1861, Edward and Alexandra met, and the following year, they were engaged. In 1863, the same year her father became the King of Denmark, Alexandra married into the British royal family. Before the wedding, Queen Victoria gifted Alexandra a precious pearl and diamond necklace as a wedding present. This necklace is the same one Kate wore to an event, as mentioned earlier. The story of a fairy tale marriage, where they live happily ever after, is, after all, just a fairy tale. After marrying into the British royal family, Alexandra faced the greatest challenge of her life. Her husband was a notorious playboy. Prince Edward, the heir to the throne, was known for his youthful promiscuity and heavy drinking, which caused a great deal of trouble for his mother, Queen Victoria. To maintain stability in the monarchy, the strategic Queen Victoria personally took on the task of choosing a wife for her son, selecting the steady and composed Alexandra. Before her official marriage, Alexandra, not yet 19, had no idea she was marrying such a man. But in that era, women had no freedom of choice, and Alexandra was swept into marriage with Britain's heir to the throne. True to form, the prince didn't disappoint. From their marriage in 1863 until he died in 1910, for 47 years, he had affairs with countless socialites and beauties from Britain's high society. From actress Lily Langtry to Churchill's mother, Lady Randolph, to singer Hortense Schneider and prostitute Julia Beniny, the women with whom Edward had affairs are too numerous to count on both hands. To make matters worse, there were explosive scandals surrounding Edward, including rumors of him having a 3-figure number of illegitimate children. Queen Victoria, well aware of her son's character, naturally took a keen interest in her daughter-in-law. And it turns out, the Queen's judgment was spot on. Although Alexandra was only 19, she quickly won the Queen's favor once she entered the palace. Her cheerful and graceful personality, along with her help in managing the royal palace's affairs, made her very popular with her mother-in-law. She knew exactly how to win the Queen's affection. When you think about it, in an era where divorce was not an option, living in the palace, the only way to have a peaceful life was to maintain a good relationship with her mother-in-law, especially since she couldn't rely on her husband. And so, at just 19, Alexandra firmly established her place in the British royal family. She managed to uphold her husband's dignity while simultaneously giving birth to 6 children. Once she gave Queen Victoria a grandson, Alexandra's position in the palace became even more secure. Like her husband Edward, who loved to socialize, she also frequently appeared in European high society, becoming a fashion icon of the era. The Danish-born princess was most famous for her love of wearing various types of choker necklaces. The reason behind this was that she had a small scar on her neck from an operation she had as a child. Little did she know, this would lead to a jewelry design that would remain in fashion for over a century. The princess's choker necklaces were far from the simple fabric chains worn by ordinary people. For Alexandra, they were made of gemstones, diamonds, and pearls. Even the most basic fabric had to be velvet. Thanks to Alexandra's influence, the choker style became a defining feature of women's necklaces throughout the Edwardian era. In addition, many of the princess's jewels have been passed down to this day. For example, the Kokoshnik tiara, which she wore, has since been worn by her daughter-in-law Queen Mary, Queen Elizabeth, and Queen Elizabeth II. But that wasn't the only fashion trend set by the princess. The most unbelievable trend she started was linked to a severe illness she had after giving birth. In 1867, after Alexandra had her 3rd child, she developed a high fever and was left with a condition that caused stiffness in her legs. From then on, she walked with a noticeable limp. Surprisingly, high society women, who always followed the princess's fashion, began to imitate her way of walking. They even had shoes specially made with one high heel and one low heel to match her unique gait. Such a lovable figure, Alexandra also created many trends, including new designs for dresses and accessories. After photography became popular in Britain, she began to experiment with taking photos herself and even took selfies with her daughter. In 1910, after the death of her husband, King Edward VII, Alexandra became the Queen Mother, and her son, George V, ascended the throne. 15 years later, at the age of 81, Alexandra passed away from heart disease, completing her legendary life. After her death, many public places across the UK were named in her honour and were referred to as Palaces of the People, commemorating the Queen who was cheerful and graceful, and who brought British royal culture to Europe and the world. Many later commentators agreed that it was Alexandra's trendy and fashionable style that helped shape the behaviour and style of the female members of the British royal family today. Having endured the pain of losing a child, a philandering husband, health crises, and a series of other challenges, Alexandra used the limited resources at her disposal to create the greatest value in each trial she faced. As the daughter, wife, and mother of kings, her legendary life continues to have a profound influence to this day.